Welcome to the Rebooted Mindset, a transformative podcast that reshapes adversities into triumphs. Meet Alida Hernandez, a beacon of resilience, who's journeyed from the brink of despair to a state of holistic wellness. Her story is one of grit and grace, a testament to the power of perseverance. Tune in every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we explore authentic experiences and share life-altering solutions. We're here to guide you on your journey to a healthier, more balanced you. We believe in the potential of every individual to reboot their mindset, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Remember to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated. It's your turn to transform your challenges into victories. Remember, it's never too late to reboot your mindset. Welcome aboard.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Rebooted Mindset. I'm your host, Alida Hernandez. We are on episode 63, I believe. Unbelievable. I remember the first episode that I did, I was so nervous. I didn't know what I was doing. So I've grown with everybody here that watches me. So today we have a special guest, Gustavo Barni. He was here a couple of times already. We started discussing about this diet prison, right? Everybody's probably wondering, what is that? Well, today, what we're really talking about is releasing from that diet prison through your subconscious mind. So that might sound complicated, but we're not going to make it complicated. We're going to make it easy for you guys to understand and see that there's possibilities, basically, so you get healthy and lose weight. That's what I want from you. Because when we go into these yo-yo diets, what happens is, and most of us done, especially us women, right? We have a party to go to, your birthday's coming up. Like my birthday's coming up in a couple of weeks. Now, there's no way like in 12 days, I'm going to like starve myself, I'm not going to do that. But a lot of people, when they have anxiety, they're getting married, they start, I got to lose 25 pounds, right? The 25 pounds you've had on for like 10 years. And now you decide you want to take it off in 3 weeks. Okay. So now you're like killing yourself. I'm just drinking water all day. Water with lemon all day. All day trying to like lose all this weight. But what happens is, when you mess up and you go through these yo-yo diets, your metabolism actually slows down, right? So your body now, it thinks that it's getting enough food, and so it tries to conserve energy and burning fewer calories. So you end up keeping the fat on, and in turn, you can even lose muscle, okay? Because you're not doing it correctly. So, because a lot of people don't eat enough protein. So these are the things I've looked up. And today we're going to have Gus really discuss the program and what it entails. And we're going to be doing a live program in South Florida and also eventually virtually. But it's really to get people to understand how important it is. I always say how important what you eat is. So there's so many things. We can't go by what's okay. They sell the package at the store. Oh, it must be good. It's it's been vetted, right? It's been vetted by the FDA, whatever it is. Unfortunately, that's not, you can't go by that. Maybe 75 years ago, maybe, but not anymore. There's too many chemicals. They want to have longer shelf life on food, so they put more chemicals in it. If you take a loaf of bread and you leave it out for like a month and it's still not green, what's going on? Why is it still fresh? Okay, they did an experiment with like a McDonald's hamburger or something one time. They left it out and it stayed the same for like forever. Like it looks exactly the same, because of all the chemicals are in there. But what I would like to do is I'm going to take just a quick break and give you a nice little video to understand a little bit more about this diet prison and what we go through. And then we're going to have Gus come in and really dive into this. So I'll be right back.
Ever been trapped in the relentless cycle of restrictive diets that promise much but deliver little? Or felt the sting of self-criticism that accompanies every glance in the mirror? You're not the only one. The culprit behind this relentless struggle isn't just a lack of willpower or the right diet plan. It's something deeper, something more intrinsic, the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind serves as the hard drive of the human psyche, storing beliefs and patterns that dictate our behavior. When filled with toxic beliefs about body image and food, it creates a vicious cycle of dieting and self-sabotage, a cycle that can often feel like a prison. This is further complicated by the addictive nature of certain foods, designed to keep us hooked and helpless, a phenomenon often referred to as food porn. But there's a silver lining. It is possible to escape this diet prison. The key lies in reprogramming the subconscious mind to foster a healthier relationship with food. This doesn't mean living to eat, but rather eating to live. It means cultivating a lifestyle that allows for the enjoyment of food without it controlling us. A classic example of the power of the subconscious mind lies in the reality show The Biggest Loser. Despite losing a significant amount of weight during the show, over 95% of participants regained all their lost weight and more, simply because their subconscious mind had not been reprogrammed. In addition to reprogramming the subconscious mind, it's also crucial to counteract the damage done by the ego, which often fuels self-criticism and negativity. One way to achieve this is through the use of effective products designed to assist in reducing body fat, such as intra-fat burn. So it's time to ask, how long have you been caught in this cycle of diets and disappointments? How many gimmicks have left you feeling vulnerable and hopeless? Remember, these gimmicks are not the solution, and they never will be. Instead, consider joining a transformative class aimed at reprogramming the subconscious mind. With the right tools and mindset, it's entirely possible to escape the diet prison and finally shed that excess body fat for good. In summary, the subconscious mind plays a critical role in our relationship with food and our self-image. By reprogramming these deep-seated beliefs and patterns, we can break free from the cycle of dieting and self-sabotage, develop a healthier relationship with food, and achieve sustainable weight loss. It's not about finding the next quick fix, but about making a lifelong change that starts from within.
So that was an awesome, powerful video. And I'm going to have Gus come in now. Hey, Gus, how are you today?
I am doing well, Alida. How are you?
Good. I'm great. I'm great.
Wonderful.
So we
Wonderful.
saw that wonderful video that you sent me about the subconscious mind and just wanted to dive into that so people can understand and not be kind of afraid of this. Every time we talk about the mind, people are like, what is that? What are you talking about? There's a lot of psychology behind it, but you can
Yeah,
explain more about how our
right,
subconscious
right.
keeps those things.
Well, the thing is this, you know that this, like I have a daughter, I have two daughters. One is skinny, okay? And she, will never be more than 105 pounds soaking wet. She was a skinny child. She eats a certain way. She can eat all that she wants. She is not salivating over food when we have restrictions, and has, can always stay lean all year round. My other daughter is the opposite. Now, with doing some work on her, we've taken her down from 175 pounds to 144 pounds. Now, she's got a bigger frame. Actually, they're both about the same height, but she's got a bigger frame. They're both about 4.5 by 5. And the thing is this, through working, doing specific exercises, getting your subconscious mind into the process, you're capable of getting the fat off. Then I added another thing, which is a fat burner, which we call intra fat burn, and she's lost 5 more pounds from that in a matter of just days. Now, let me do something that most people won't do. The fat burner is a tool. It's only a tool. Let's not be fooled by, you have to be doing this correctly. You have to be working with the subconscious mind correctly. You have to exercise. You have to watch the nutrition. But watching the nutrition should not be complicated if your subconscious mind is collaborating. Now, if your subconscious mind is not collaborating, then it's extremely challenging. Then we move into what is it called? We live to eat. So that's where we become a slave to food. We live to eat. Okay. And But truthfully is this, when you work the subconscious mind, you're going to be stunned by what can happen is that you now can live, you can eat to live, which is completely different, and actually enjoy eating to live. I mean, people don't think that way.
Yeah.
You can enjoy eating to live
Yeah.
instead of get caught up in the addiction trap of living, to eat, which
Right.
is what? I mean, you got people out there that, are planning the next feast a week ahead of time. They're salivating over the next, you know, thing that they're going to do. Oh, I'm going to this party. It's going to be a buffet. We're going to have a blast. I mean, this is how far the addiction is taking us.
Yeah, that's why they have
You know,
buffets out there, right?
they
It's
have
it's
buffets.
crazy. I went to a buffet, I don't know, a couple of months ago, and I was just like, okay, what do I eat? It was so for me because I've changed my mindset of what I'm gonna eat, and I'm already so I already knew there was gonna be a section that's gonna be fried. There's a section that just stuff I'm not even gonna touch with sauces. So I gravitated to the salads, and even the salads weren't that great because then they have all
Hmm.
these pasta salads with creams and all this other stuff. So
Sure.
they make all these different, salads. You just want greens, but it's very interesting. I've seen a lot of shows, and people probably seen them like The Biggest Loser. We talked about that
Hmm.
in the video. Any of these challenges they do out there, and they give people 90 days, 120 days, and they're on them and they're watching, but that's not normal life. You can't
Not normal life.
you can't
Not at
when you
all.
restrict, right? Is this true? When you restrict somebody when it comes to food, then it becomes almost like a trauma, like.
It's a trauma. It's exactly that. It's a trauma. And we can't get caught up in traumas. We have to be able to gently make lifestyle changes that are agreeable with us. Nobody sticks with anything that is not agreeable with them. And to help with that, you have to have the subconscious working with you. Because what's happened is this: you can't have inside of the subconscious the unconscious things that have happened to us over life that are inside of our hard drive, subconscious, and that are operating there and very strongly in a negative way towards us. We're here from this side trying to consciously manipulate these things. We got to, the doctor says, I got to lose.
Right.
I'm not in good health. I got to walk. I got to lift weights. I got to exercise. This, that, and the other thing. So you're feeding that with the conscious mind. But meanwhile, the unconscious mind that's inside of your subconscious, that's already part of your operating system, is saying another story. Don't be a schmuck. You can have this piece of cake. We're going to be having fun together. Let's do this. Let's go to the buffet. They're not going to beat us out of money at the buffet. We're going to outperform the buffet. We're going to make the blues money. Who knows?
I've seen people like that. Oh my gosh. So I
Right.
want to just say, I was looking up, I was trying to figure out how to explain to people if they didn't understand really the subconscious mind. And I looked up something that says it's like a big storage room in your brain where all your
Exactly.
memories, experiences, and all the beliefs are in there. So now your
Beautifully said.
subconscious mind is there since you were born. So everything you've
Correct.
been fed, everything you've been told, everything is like locked in there, a key, right? And then your conscious
Correct.
mind is your library, who also has who only focuses on a few books at a time. But your
Correct.
subconscious mind is like a bookshelf that holds all the books you've read.
Beautifully said. Now, what do we got? We got the conscious mind, which is about 5% of us, okay? And it's got to influence the subconscious, which is 95% of us. So
Mm.
it's got a hell of a task to try to do that. That's why, the work that we're doing is let's dig into the dark, blind spot of the subconscious mind and release those emotions that have been toxic in our lives.
Oh, oh, sorry guys. For some reason we lost Gus, but he'll be right back. And there he is.
Okay. And and get that stuff out of us. That stuff is not helping us. It prevents us from moving forward. This is why today, having a situation where we're overweight and obese, it's epidemic. It's epidemic. I mean, totally epidemic. And I'll tell you this, having been a manufacturer, okay, for decades, okay, I know what people do when they make food products. I made nutritional supplements, okay? And the thing is this, how, and people may not be able to grasp this. I'm going to try to say this simply. These companies make money only if you keep buying their product. Okay. So what is their intention for you? The intention for you is, can we get this guy addicted to our stuff better than the other guys getting them addicted to our stuff so we can win them over and they buy our stuff? That's what these flavoring chemists get paid for. This is where they pay the big money, is to addict us. Let's not think anything else, because if you're not buying their stuff is not tasting absolutely delicious, you're moving on to something that you feel is tasting absolutely delicious. So everybody's competing with everybody to make the food taste better. It doesn't matter that they start with cardboard. At the end of the day is they made something taste delicious. And usually the more delicious the darn thing tastes, the more poisonous it is, the more inflammation, the more insulin resistance, the more it beats the living daylights out of us.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say that. That's why when the fast foods out there, and everybody knows the fried foods that are out there and the French fries, right? And you go and it's like the commercials say, oh, you can't eat just one chip. They have a commercial that says that.
Yeah.
You can't just eat one, right? One Lay's or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't eat one. You ate 3 bags.
Right. And you'll eat the whole bag. There's something
eat
in
the
there.
whole
I
bag.
mean, I used to do that. We'd get chipped and I would eat one and just keep eating.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
same thing with, so I've been there, guys. So don't think I've lost a lot of weight. I was up to 215 pounds. Okay. After I had the stroke and I swelled even more and I was really unhealthy. I felt sluggish. I couldn't move. I had inflammation, mucus. I mean, it was just a whole big mess. And then when I started doing the detoxing and really changing my mind to say I wanted to live, but I wanted to live a healthier, better life.
Yes.
And not be running around to, oh, I have to eat now, so let me just grab whatever I find to eat. You can't do that. To live healthier, to live a better life and live longer, it's just like a job, okay? And I don't mean it that, it's not that job that's going to kill you. I'm just saying that you have to work at it. You want to go to the gym, you want to look good, you work out, right? You take weights and you do exercise 20 minutes a day, whatever it is. That takes time. You have to take time for yourself to do that. So
Right.
that's what.
So we have to program the subconscious mind. You're either planning to succeed or you're planning to fail. So we have to make that decision. And the decision for me is, okay, either we're moving into wellness or we're moving the other direction into sickness. So we all have to make that conscious decision. But then we need to get the help. And this is where we come in with, okay, let's help you reprogram the subconscious mind, because it's just not going to program it itself. And most of the stuff that we have received is even coming from the womb, before we were born, when we were born, and within the first 7 years, even up to 10 years, because the first 7 years, as we know, okay, today, and studies have been done, we're operating in a theta state of mind. That higher theta state of mind allows these young kids to be able to learn rapidly. That's why languages are better learned at that age. And you see people, okay, if they learn a language older, in their, after the age of 15, 20 or so, they can have a heavy accent and all of that kind of stuff, because they don't assimilate information the same way. The same thing is with math, English, writing. That's why they take advantage of the early years to teach you this stuff, because you're in a theta state of mind. But what is the problem with the theta state of mind. Those kids are like sponges. So if your parents said, don't eat that, you're going to get fat. Don't you had enough that you can't eat that other slice of pizza. We enough. It's all the negatives. Now, whether good, bad, or indifferent, the good, the bad, and the ugly, the subconscious mind, because it's in that theta state, is receiving all that information as truth. We don't have filters at that age, and that's where the most amount of damage is caused to us. That's what we really have to go in and repair. Some friend could have said, come on, let's go play, and let's go play with this. Let's go play with tons of fun over here. Let's have a good time. I'll pull up a couple of chairs and sit down. All of those nasty jokes that, left something in there. I have a niece that's 10 years old. She's like 160 pounds.
What?
How is that possible? Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, and now they're carbohydrate addicts.
Oh yeah,
This is it.
I have two children, right? So I have two sons.
Right.
When they were in school, in elementary school, I would always pack their lunch that I made from home, right? It was either leftovers from the night before, and I made a nice healthy snack for them, and then they would say after school care. So I would get another little bag. Okay, this is for after school, so you have something to munch on. And they told me at the school that they could not bring any snacks with them because some people have allergies to food and they might trade. What a bunch of crock of poop, okay? Because what did they give my children? Chips, chocolate chip cookies, sugar cookies. He was bouncing off the walls, okay? Because they gave him all the sugar. And I said to him, you won't allow me my healthy snacks, but you're giving my child sugar all afternoon? What is wrong with you? Okay? They even the teachers don't know. And let me tell you, it's been a lot of research for me reading and learning over these years now.
I'm in total agreement.
Huh?
I'm in total agreement.
So I just want to say hi real quick. Rosie's on. Hi, Rosie. How you doing? Adriana. Hi, Adriana. Thanks for coming on. JC says everything sounds good and clear. Thanks, JC.
Thank you,
Juan.
JC.
Hola, Juan. So I got a couple of people on there. And so I want to continue talking about that. So yes. So the foods, I find food. I think about the foods that I had. Like I remember when I was pregnant with my first son, we used to have, when you work in an office, in a corporate office, there's always a kitchen, right? And they always bring snacks. What do they bring? Cake, candy, bagels, donuts, like all this sugar stuff. And then you wonder why at 3:00 in the afternoon, you're like
you're passing out.
Because you get the sugar rush, right? The sugar, the carbs, and then you crash down.
Right. Now, the issue is this. This is causing inflammation in the body, insulin resistance, a fatty liver. That's why we have to get rid of that visceral fat to be able to get healthy. It's imperative. I mean, I've been there. I mean, I used to be very, very lean, and quite muscular. And then I went into something called holy fatrimony, where we get comfortable. But for those that might not know, it's matrimony, holy matrimony.
They say that you gain like 50 pounds in a marriage or something like that. And
and yes. And then my wife got pregnant and I started gaining weight like there was no tomorrow. And then you have to take it off. Before you know it, I got a triple chin. That's like, are you kidding me? I can't even see, my face looks deformed because it's gotten so big. But, this is why it's, and I did many yo-yos, many ups and downs and this and that. And then also people's opinions. I think that's some of the worst thing that could happen to us. I'm going to give you my personal experience. I got married. I was in a low, 6, 7, 8% body fat. Okay. But after that, years, went along and I got into a very different body fat percentage. I didn't even know it was possible. And then my wife tells me, Gus, how can you wear a shirt? You're tucking your shirt in. You can't with that stomach. How on earth can you? Yeah, how on
Actually,
earth can you wear? No, it was like terrible. You got to do something about this. This is terrible.
oh
You
no.
look at this. You're ready to roll. So
But
what happened is this, but let me tell you why you have to do this for yourself and only for yourself. And what anybody thinks of you is none of your business. What you think of yourself is all of your business. And I'll tell you what happened is this. I'll make a long story short. Uh, I lost all the body fat. I mean, all the body fat. I got down to like 6.5% body fat. Do you know what I'm facing with after that? What's going on with you? Do you have a girlfriend? What's going on with you? Now, I look, I'm chiseled, and what's going on with you? So, you're not there to make anybody but yourself happy. And once you're happy, the people around you are also happy because you're
exactly,
taking better care of yourself. And the way that I find that you can do it is through the subconscious mind. There is no easier way, but the programs have to be defeated. The old brain cell impressions that put you over the top with the weight have to be able to go away so the new brain cell impressions can take their place and you can get to where you want to be and fall off of the addiction bandwagon of, I'm addicted to these kind of sugary, salty foods. Couple of weeks ago, I met this holistic chef. All healthy foods that, we should have her on the show at
oh,
some point,
definitely.
because I'm going to tell you something. The food that she made was out of this world tasty. Even the best of the junk food, the best tasting poisons, because that's what they really are. Some of the best tasting foods that we've ever had in our lives are poisonous. Okay. Um, this woman was capable of making desserts and just food in general that was tasting out of this world. And she goes, Gus, you know what? It wasn't easy, because I said, how on earth can you cook this well? And it actually is that good for you. And she goes, you know what? It's been trial and error. It was a ton of work. I've been intensely doing this work to improve it for over 4 years to come up to what I am right now.
Hmm.
So, I mean, this is where we're going to work with a person like this to get these recipes, to get these things, so that we can still totally enjoy food through, eating to live and not
Right.
living to eat. And
Correct.
and that can be done.
And
That can
it
be done.
can.
That really can be
And it
done.
can. And I tell everybody, I've embraced it, coming from, Puerto Rican household. It's always been rice and beans and carne frita, like fried meat or whatever
Right.
it is, and a lot of fried foods. And I have modified. I can make Puerto Rican food. I can even make vegan Puerto Rican food. I can make all the flavors. I have all my seasonings, fresh seasonings, but I make it healthy. And so there's a
Right.
way to do it. Once you
Right.
start thinking about it, there's a way to do it. Like right now, I brought with me in my container here that I have. I made split pea soup tonight.
Very good.
So I made split pea
Very good.
soup with some butternut squash and some coconut milk. So it came out
There
really
you go.
good. So,
There you go.
but let's talk about more. So basically, with this program, you have developed a program that we can
Hmm.
get together, maybe 10, 15 people in a group,
Right.
and it's going to be over. So you can let me know over 7, 8 weeks, and how does
Yes,
it, how, what entail in that?
it's going to probably be closer to 8 to 10 weeks. But the idea is to reprogram the subconscious mind. Now, another problem that people have, I mean, because there is people that have successfully lost weight. There is a ton, like you had in The Biggest Loser. Okay, you had a ton of people really lose weight. There is a lot of times no lack of willpower. Okay, but I'm going to tell you what willpower does run out, and it does. And the thing is this, that people, as they cut calories, okay, they're actually setting their metabolism, their bodies, because the body's there to survive, is now burning less calories.
Hmm.
Okay. At the burning less calories, it's, I get people saying, "Hey, listen, I'm only on 1,000 calories. I'm on 1,200 calories, and I no longer can lose an ounce. I can't lose an ounce of fat." And that's because the body is perceiving that there is, starvation taking place, and it's going to hoard. And that's where we help with the subconscious mind working in your favor instead of against you. We can reprogram that. Okay, just release the fat. We don't need it. This is visceral fat. So you're getting the calories. The brown fat is the white fat is converting into brown fat from your maybe hundreds of thousands of storage calories that you have within your body, which is what we're going after, so that you can get rid of all the visceral fat and the stubborn fat. And you can do it at any age. If I could do it at my age, and I'm in my 60s, anybody can do it. And I've been able to put more muscle mass and have more defined, because also I don't want to fall into where the disease of old age is sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is weaker and weaker muscles. So, we are almost constantly, as we age, which we want to slow that process down, is giving up muscle and accumulating fat. And the whole idea of this program is to be able to release the fat and rebuild the muscle so you're functional. I don't want to see, people, they get weak. There's people that they start with a cane, then they need a walker, and so forth and so on. I mean, my mother's 91 years old, and she doesn't need a walker. She doesn't need a what is it called?
A cane
A
or
cane. She
anything.
doesn't
Yeah,
need a
or a
cane,
wheelchair. Yeah,
or a
well,
wheelchair.
you met
She,
my mother. My mother's going to be 86 now in February, and she's doing her salsa dancing. And everybody who knows me and knows my mother, she knows she dances all night. Salsa, freestyle, disco, whatever it is. That keeps her young.
right. You have to have mobility. You got to keep moving those muscles no matter what, because the minute they start getting weaker, you
Oh,
start getting into bigger and bigger problems. So yes, do I recommend some resistance training, or yoga or Pilates? I mean, something that keeps the muscles strong. And functional strength is extremely important. Calisthenics, these that is. I'm not just talking about weight, because you need to balance. I
right.
mean, I do single leg squats. I no longer do full squats, which is I do a form. It's called Bulgarian squat. If anybody wants to look, because one leg at a time creates balance from inside the leg, outside of the leg. I use weights with that. It has the balance. So therefore, I have the strength, the flexibility. Then I get down low and stretch out the quads and things like that. Because what happens is I have tripped on a few occasions. I've been kind of clumsy. But the thing is, I'm able to take a giant step forward and land on my feet and not, on my ass, and break
Right.
something. This is what people have. They get older, they start breaking stuff because they're more fragile. So the whole idea here is to reprogram the subconscious mind, and to also give some education on what is actually needed so that you can age gracefully and
Yeah,
not get old. We all got to get older, but that doesn't mean that we have to get old. And
exactly. I refuse to get old.
well, that's it. That's it. I mean, and one day we have to go. I mean, we move on, but out of this life. But nonetheless, we should be able to enjoy whatever our children, our grandchildren. We should be able
Exactly.
to get around. We should be able to travel, be with our friends, and not, hey, listen, I got to get to the bathroom. I need the pens. I need this. I need that. Nothing's functioning well in my body, and that's just no way to have
No.
to
And
come into your golden years. you
No,
know?
and you live, I'm in the Boca area. There's a lot of senior community, and I've taken like my mom and my aunt to like a checkup to the regular, like the
Right,
community doctor, and you see the people at the doctor's office. It's really sad because I see elderly people that are younger than my mother, okay, that look really sick because of who knows what poor nutrition, and a lot of them are alone, and then they can't walk. They're in walkers and wheelchairs, and I'm very grateful that both my mother and my aunt at their age in their 80s that they're still functioning. They can walk,
right,
they can dance and things like that, and I want to make it there too.
right.
uh,
And and a lot of times you could see that because I mean, I remember when I was a little kid and I boxed and I would look at my boxing coach. And my boxing coach was 10 years older than my father. And I started to think to myself, look at this guy, the way that he does things, and he's disciplined. This guy is 10 years older than my father, but you know what? He's going to outlive my father.
mm-hmm.
And sure enough, my father lived to 85. He got close to 86. But my boxing coach lived to 102.
Wow.
And the difference was, so he lived another 7 or 8 years past my father, being that his my father was 10 years younger than him. But what does that mean? It means, okay, you seeing some a plan of, okay, I'm going to enjoy food, do this, do that, do the other things, but I'm also going to move my body so that my body can stay functional for as long as possible. At
Yeah.
99 years of age, he was teaching boxing still.
Say.
So he was totally 100% mobile. He never stopped being 100% independent. He just went to sleep one night and didn't get up the next. That is it. But most people are sick for the last 20, 25, maybe even 30 years. And that's not the way to live. So we can easily reprogram ourselves, get out of the addiction, because believe it or not, 80% of the population is addicted. And it doesn't matter what they say. No, not me, not me. But then they tell you, okay, what do they tell you? All these diet people. Don't ever go to the supermarket hungry. Why do they tell you that? Because it's very tempting. You got an appetite, and now you're going after everything and anything
And what's
that
at
you
the front
like.
register? At the front
Right,
register, when you're starving and you're trying to pay for your groceries and you're going to cook a healthy dinner, they got chocolate, they got potato chips, they got popcorn, anything you can think of is right there. And then they got sodas and all this stuff. So you're like, oh, I'll drink something, I'll drink an energy drink, and I'll grab whatever, just to hold me
right.
over. And then there goes.
Well, it's all pre-planned for the impulse buying. They love it if you go into the supermarket hungry. But the whole idea, okay, if your subconscious mind, if you've done the work and the work's been done, okay, what happens? You, like I can go totally hungry in the supermarket and still purchase all the right stuff. And that's the difference. You still, now there's the addiction isn't there. Now, I want to have an off meal, no problem. I can have an off meal. I know that I come back in the next meal, I'm back
Exactly.
on track. I'm back
Exactly.
into what's good for me. I'm back in taking care of my health. Because as we age, we know that it's easier to get sick, it's easier to have disease, but it doesn't have to be that way. It
Exactly.
doesn't
Now,
have to be that
what I
way.
was going to tell you about it's taken me a while, and I've been working on the subconscious, changing my food habits and how I think about food. Because, like you said, you go through your life. When I was really young, to tell you, when I was young, like I've always been very thin. I was a size zero at 18, 19 years old. So I was always really skinny. And when I got pregnant with my first son, I remember I used to tell people, God, I feel so fat. I was a size six. I was lean muscle. I was doing boxing and kickboxing. I was doing weight training 7 days a week. And then I was running, I was horseback riding, I was like active, there's no tomorrow. And then I had the child, and it does change your body. So that's why a lot of women out there, if you're listening to me, when you get pregnant, your body changes. Your body will completely changes after you give birth to a baby. Now, what I learned now after all these years, my son's going to be 28 years old, is that what I did wrong was I was really healthy before. Then I got pregnant. I got the mindset of, oh, I'm eating for two, so give me two
Right.
pastes, give me two subs, and give me two of these,
Yes.
and all this
That's
stuff. And I
too
gained
fun.
40 pounds. And then
Yes.
and then I used to drive to work. Right, I lived in LA, and I used to drive to work. It was a long ride. And of course, by the time I got to the office, all I was thinking about was ordering downstairs. I was the restaurant, and I would order a full breakfast: pancakes, eggs, bacon, home fries, the works, right? But before I ate that, I would stop at the bakery to get two coconut custard croissants
Wow.
and stuff my face.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Of
And it was
course.
like it because the food was pleasure. The food was it was a
Pleasure.
pleasure sensor. It was a endorphins to your brain, and you're like, oh, that's so good, and it's an euphoria, basically.
Right.
You
Right.
know.
Well, hey, listen, beyond the addictions that we have, food is there to manage stress. We say,
Mm.
oh, that SOB, he did it to me, she did it to me, whatever. Hey, and you know what? You start having a pizza and all of a sudden you start feeling better. You know what I mean?
Or you have a drink, so
Or you
that
have a
brings in,
drink
and also this is part of that.
and you got the
Part of
empty
food
calories.
addiction become then there's other things. When food doesn't satisfy you, right, then you can go into drinking. I've done it too. I tell everybody, I've
Right.
drank every day. I've done it when I was younger, messed up my system. When I worked, I used to work in IT, so I used to work really weird hours, and if the computer server went down, I would have to stay after work. So you were just grabbing whatever you can eat, and sometimes I wouldn't eat during the day, and I
Right.
would start getting the shakes. And I didn't know
Wow.
that was a sign that I was already getting hypoglycemic because I was not feeding my body, and now my body's eating off itself, right?
Right.
So I was in good shape, and then I started gaining weight, gaining weight, gaining weight, and little by little, I just buy a bigger size. Not that I liked it, but
Right.
with the stress and everything else I was going through, it was just satisfying, right? And then the food and the drinking, and then it spirals. And I think everybody has some form of addiction
Of
some way.
course.
Not that you want it, you don't want this addiction.
No, of course not.
Potato chips are addicting. Eating ice cream, the sugar. Okay,
Absolutely. All the
sugar.
sugar is addictive.
So let me tell you, it takes a long time to get rid of the sugar, and I'm still like very little, but I'm like I can't eat anything like I used to. I can't eat like
No.
if I got a Hershey bar, oh my gosh, I want to be sick. It is so sweet, right? So once you change your mind, your subconscious about what's good for you, what's not, your taste buds change too. Like now
Oh,
you
they,
don't
they, they do.
crave
Right?
that,
Exactly. Now,
you know?
let me go into a little bit of a complicated issue that people are struggling with in their yo-yo diet. Okay. They go down and they restrict calories, they up their exercise, and all of this stuff goes on. But each day they start losing weight a little slower and a little slower.
Mm,
Okay. As their body starts to adjust to that. Okay. Then let's say they finally get, most people don't, but some people get to where they want to get and they've lost the weight that they want to lose. Okay. When they go back to eat a little bit more, all of a sudden they start gaining weight rapidly.
mm,
Because what is going on is they are still with the old metabolic set point. So let's just say that if you weigh 200 pounds, just to put a number out there, okay, and you got down to 140, you lost all the weight that you wanted to lose, okay? But still, your metabolic set point is at 200 pounds. This is what you have uh, told your system that this is comfortable for you, even though it's
mm,
not comfortable for you. It's actually uncomfortable because you're not as agile, you're not moving as well, you're not as fast, you're not as flexible, and you might have, knee pains and back pains because you're carrying all that extra weight. Okay. And with the lesser weight, all of these things start to get, all of these symptoms and illnesses start to get relief. Now, because your metabolic set point is at 200 pounds, your body naturally wants to go up in weight, does not want to stay in that 140. And that's one of the things that we work on the subconscious mind. we work to reset your metabolic set point because you don't want it to be at 200. Otherwise, you're always going to struggle. And if we can get it down to 140, 130, wherever you want it to be, based on, for me, it's more like body fat percentage. I don't, get on the scale. My daughter does. She says, Dad, I lost 5 pounds on these pills in only a matter of days. I said, okay, great. Keep moving, but we got to still do the work on the subconscious mind, because certainly you don't want to gain that weight back. So that is absolutely. So we're setting a new set point. The new set point is going to be at 130 pounds, because for her to drop any lower than that, it would be like she would look like an anorexic hemophiliac,
right.
Whether you totally.
So we'll have to talk, because I need to change my set point. Okay.
Yeah, no, of course, but that's the idea.
I've changed. So I mean, you didn't see me before, but I was up to a size 18. Okay, my stomach. I used to put my hand on my stomach and rest. Okay?
Yeah, no,
I used to do this, and people who've seen me know I've lost a lot of weight, and I've kept pretty much overall. I gained about 10 pounds over the last 6 months or so with, I got so much going on and just a lot of different things happen. And I let myself go, and I was just eating whatever. And I know exactly why, we were at the studio, it was late. And then, and Jason's like, I'm hungry. And goes to 7-Eleven and brings back chocolate chip cookies. Really? I don't need cookies.
Right. Damn.
So,
Damn.
But before we go, I want to just take just a quick break. I want to show a video of my friend Andrea. So if you guys, this is an option for trading if you want. I'm always looking out there. I always have partners out there to help you with all different things of health. So we'll be right back.
I am a certified fitness trainer. I'm a certified health and wellness coach. I am the creator and developer of a brand new amazing fitness tool called the Max Pack. The Max Pack stands for Maximum Power and Core. I was looking for a fitness training tool that was more useful than a dumbbell, and I created this really amazing thing where the movement of the material inside moved every way I moved and made the resistance heavier every direction I went. So I had to grip it harder with my fingers, fist, wrist, arm, forearm, and it really immediately, the minute I picked it up, it engaged all my muscles so succinctly and firmly. Before I even started working out with it, I was like, oh wow, this is so awesome. And then I developed 150, 200 different fun, amazing, kick-ass ways to really work it. The Max Pack, Maximum Power and Core, is going to be the newest, most amazing fitness training system today. On the Max Pack, I have my empowerment words: strength, endurance, integrity, and commitment. And these words have really, really, really great meaning to me because I live by these. I signed my name and my company, Hammer Health and Fitness, is on this. So the truth and integrity and strength and endurance and commitment from me to you is literally written on this bag. And if you banged yourself in the head or you dropped it on your foot, it won't break you. And you're gonna see your body burn fat, build muscle, shred yourself. Your balance is gonna be better, your cardiovascular is gonna improve, your stability is gonna be stronger. Your whole body and mind is going to transform because the Max Pack has required focus. The muscles are engaged, boom, right from the get-go. And then you start working out. It's a double whammy workout. And I have to tell you, happy and healthy ways to exercise your muscles and your mind, because you really have to focus on the movement. And that's why I love my Max Packs.
I thought it was unbelievable, actually, and I really got a lot of benefit out of it.
Functional activation of total body with this product. I love it.
Very effective, works all the muscles that you don't even think that you are using or engaging.
Amazing. I was engaged in my obliques, and it was just one of the best products I've actually ever used.
In and in, out and out. There you go. It's enough to burn your ass right now.
So that was my incredible friend Andrea. She is a warrior too, another incredible, intelligent woman, and she developed the Max Pack. So just go to themaxpack.com. You can get all the information. If you're in South Florida, I didn't have the information out, but I will post it later. She has a workout at the park here in Coral Springs. I believe it's February 9th. So I will look that up and make sure I post that also. So you can come and check it out if you're in South Florida. Please come over. I'd love to meet you guys, and we'll work out with the Max Pack. It's a different product. You know, there's bands out there. You know, everybody knows I used to use the bands as well, and I use now a combination of different things because it's good to kind of. I always say confuse the muscle a little bit, right? So weight training, you can use the pad, you can do different things. So anyway, continuing about this. So let's just talk a little bit about what you're planning, or what we're planning to do to
Right.
get a place locally here.
Correct.
We're trying to finalize the location, but we'd like to have a local spot so we can have 10, 15 people. So it's not a huge
Right.
crowd, because you want to be a little bit more personal and really do go through this and work on the subconscious mind and getting you out of this, releasing you from this diet prison, and getting to a better, healthier life.
Oh, yes. Bottom line, I mean, like me, I started depleting all the excess body fat. Now, as all the body fat started to come off of me, I got a little bit too leaned out. So I said, okay, I don't want to have sarcopenia as I continue to get older. So, I started putting some of the muscle back on, gaining a little bit of the weight, and putting a good part of the weight. Now, it's totally by choice. I'm back into, okay, let's deplete some more body fat. And this is where I use, and this is a plug for this, is the intra-fat burner right here, okay? And I want to explain to people because, we're all about integrity. If you're not doing the right things, that product won't mean anything, won't do anything, and you won't lose an ounce. However, if we're aligning the subconscious and we're putting together your own digital fingerprint on what foods work for you, okay, and what foods don't, because everybody's different. And this is what in the classes, we're going to get a grip of your basically metabolic fingerprint, which is unique to you. And that's where you're going to receive help. Also, we're going to dig into what's called the blind spot inside your subconscious mind, which has created the problem, okay? Because I know there's people out there that for 30 and 40 years have been on and off diets all the time. And that is, what we call diet prison. And you're consciously saying, I got to get this weight off. The doctor says that, I'm having a heart condition, or, I've got a fatty liver, or, I'm insulin resistant, and I've got all this inflammation. I don't want to get cancer. I don't want heart disease. I don't want, even stuff in the mind, Alzheimer's, dementia, all of these things come from inflammation, diabetes, whatever it is, it's all inflammatory. So if we're going to move towards wellness, we need to work with the subconscious mind. Okay, I don't care what products, because I'm also creating something for detoxification. Our bodies are so toxic from the years of garbage that we kept getting fed. I mean, when I used to eat stuff 50 years ago as a kid, it wasn't like the food we have today. No way. I mean, I was around when the milkman used to come. So what did that mean? What does the milkman mean? You don't see. There's no such thing as a milkman. Okay? The milk was 10 million times healthier than it is today. Why? because it wasn't pasteurized. It wasn't ultra pasteurized. It didn't last. Now they could put it in the supermarket because it could last for a long, long time. Well, why they had a milkman is because the milk couldn't last. They had to get it in and out of your home, and your parents or whatever, they signed up
Yeah.
a sheet that said, okay, I want 2 deliveries of 3 quarts of milk a week. So I had, 2 times a week, the milkman would come in, give you the things, take the old bottles, recycle them, and put the new ones in.
And they were
They,
in glass,
they were in glass.
not plastic, okay? Because
They were in
plastic
glass.
is horrible. The plastic bleeds into your liquid.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody really doesn't know that, don't drink. That's why I'm
Right.
like, I'm having tea in a cup. It's stainless steel. If I have water, I try to avoid plastic at all
Right.
as possible.
Now there are certain plastics that are not that permeable, but most of the stuff is. So
It
it
is.
does leach into the food. Yeah, back in those times, I mean, now we recycled. It was recycled for us. Even any glass bottle, you brought it back and they recycle. Now it's thrown out and
Oh
you've got a
yeah.
huge
You used
mountain.
to, yeah, and then you used to be able to bring remember the Coca-Cola bottles were glass, right? The
Correct.
old-fashioned bottles, even
Mhm.
Pepsi, all the sodas were in glass bottles, and you would go down and they give you 5 cents for the bottle, right? And you
Correct.
would take it for
Yeah.
recycling. And but then they stopped losing. Everybody got into convenience. Oh, plastic's so much easier, and didn't
Mhm.
realize the damage that plastic has done to our earth now.
Right.
Now we got
Right.
plastic floating around in the ocean, killing. I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
It goes on. So
But
we have to take care of ourselves, detoxify ourselves, cleanse, and that's why I work diligently on these products, having been a nutritional formulator for many, many years. Okay, understanding how the subconscious mind works, knowing that we can easily sabotage ourselves and the addictions that we have to deal with so that we can have that life where we're eating to, living, but eating to live well and enjoying food. Nobody's saying, let's do something that's not
no.
pleasurable or unenjoyable. No, I don't want that. Absolutely not.
Hey, and you
I'm
can
back down. Go
exactly,
ahead.
and you can make things like the other day I was looking at what can I make like if I wanted something a little sweet, like something with a flavor like that was healthier. So I went somewhere and they made a bakeless brownie, which is made with dates. So you use dates as the sweetener. You put
Right.
100% cocoa in there, and I forgot what else you add in there, and then you just put it in the refrigerator, and it's so good.
Yeah,
Okay,
no
so
doubt.
if you're craving something, this is like a healthy way to get rid of that sweetness craving. Because once in a while, I want something sweet too.
For sure.
It's been all my life, right? So it's hard to
For sure.
adjust things like that. And if you notice, I was just thinking about, like I was talking about different programs that are on TV. I used to watch. There was a program called The 600 Pound Life, which is it's really sad. It's really sad because these people struggle. They're very large. They're 500-600 pounds. They show their life, how it is, or they can't move, they can't function, they can't take a bath. But meanwhile, they know that, but they're so stuck in their mind. So their subconscious is so
Yeah, it's overloaded.
polluted that it's an emotional thing now because they're eating 4 pizzas, four
Oh, yeah.
liters of soda. I mean, something that's beyond. That's more of a mental, emotional.
Well, you have to feed a huge stomach, that bigger stomach that you are. So, I mean, that's why they even say, doing bariatric surgeries are not so effective. And people do lose the weight because they can't eat, basically.
Right.
So if, you can't eat over time, you can only hibernate for so long and they still come fat. Even the bears, when they hibernate, they still, at some point, they may not eat for many, many months. And then they come out, they're thinner for sure. But, the minute that
Are
they
they
start eating,
healthy?
they gain.
But
Yeah,
they're
who
not
knows?
healthy. I don't think they can be healthy because you only can eat. I had a friend of mine who did it years ago, and she would have like 1 spoon of food on full, and that was her
Right.
dinner. I go, you can't survive like that. I go, why did you do that? And she said, because I was so heavy, I just didn't know what else to do. So I just want to
Right.
say to everybody out there, if you feel you're in that situation, I'm going to put down, I'm going to put the email down because I want to
Right.
make sure everybody, here's my email, info@rebootedthepodcast.com. Please send me an email if you're interested in this program that Gus is putting together. We'll do another time. I'll put flyers up on social media once it's all ready to go, like the location, how much it is, and all that stuff. Plus, please email me your information so I can keep you on the list, and I can send all the information to you directly, so you can get on this program. I want to see everybody healthy and happy, and not let food control your life. Okay, that's how I feel.
Oh,
Um,
I do too. I mean, I lost a family, one of my very, very best friends, and she's still overweight, but I think that she was fortunate enough to pick up her father's gene. But her mother died, from being morbidly obese. Okay, her younger sister at 43 died, left two kids behind. One, was an autistic child. I mean, it's very, very tough. Died at 43 of a heart attack from morbidly obese. And then her other sister died in, I think she was 50 or 51, again, morbidly obese. Um,
it's a
and
lot
and,
on the
and
heart. It's a lot
a
on the
lot
heart.
on the heart. You're carrying that weight around. You don't realize it until you start trimming that fat off, how all of a sudden your muscles are working completely different. You're able to bend down. A lot of people, including me, at one point, I'm saying, you know what? I don't want to tie my shoes. Let me get on
It's
some
true. It's
slip-ons.
true.
Damn, I can't
You're
bend down. I
huffing.
bend down. I can't breathe. My lungs are closed when I bend down. No, this sucks.
It's
So,
true. It's so true.
so
When I had
it
my
is.
stomach, I could barely tie my shoe,
Yeah,
and then I was like, okay, I have to hold my breath and go, my stomach trying to
right.
put my shoe, and then you're like, your diaphragm hurts
Of
because
course,
you
of
have to
course.
unbuckle your pants because you can't get
Right.
down there. I mean,
You
no.
know,
And let me tell you, I went through this, and especially, I tell everybody, after I had the stroke, I already had mobility issues, right? So I had reduced reduced movement on my left side, and then I was overweight. On top of that, I was up to 215 pounds. I felt like a little rolly bear, okay? Like I roll over in bed, roll over, push me over, okay? Because I couldn't move. I have to joke around
no.
because it's true. You can ask JC.
Yeah,
We had
no.
moments we were just crying. We were laughing so hard because I got stuck in the bed one night. I'm like, I can't get up. He's like,
Yeah, no, no doubt. No.
so
No, we don't we
when I
don't
first started working out, I was doing exercise, and I have to go to a mat, right? Get on the mat, sit on a mat, and then do exercise. Let me tell you, I could not get down to the mat. And then it took me, it was a whole maneuver for me to get down to the mat because I couldn't maneuver my left leg so much. So I had to do this weird thing. And then when I got there, I'm like, don't make me get up fast. There's no way I can get up fast now
right.
because my muscles were weak. I had gone through the stroke. I was overweight, and I started exercising. July of 2020, when we were home and I was getting crazy from being in the house, right? I said, this is ridiculous. I got to do something. This belly's getting bigger. All I'm doing is eating. Started exercising.
Yeah.
In the beginning. Everybody in the beginning, you feel like, oh, I can't do it. Don't say that. You can do it. It's going to take you time. Don't be the negative, like hating yourself. Oh, I can't believe this. I can't even get down there. Like all the excuses. Just do it little by little. If you only go halfway, go halfway.
Yeah.
Next time you go 3/4, and then when you least expect it, wow, I made it. I did it. I'm on the floor. I'm doing the exercise or the squat. And it took me a while. It took me a good, I don't know how long, but it's been a few years now, since 2020. And I do feel better. My knees don't hurt like I used to. And, I still want to lose a little more weight, and I know Gus is going to help me lose all this extra fat. So
Well, we're going to work on also 102 common belief systems that could keep us from losing the weight and certainly keeping it off. Because the idea of this program is, why is this different than what other people are doing? And the thing is this, Why it's different is because we want you to have permanent weight loss. Now, like me, if you want to say, okay, here, I've trimmed down to this, my six pack is in, okay, and now I've, in the way to trimming down, I lost a little bit of muscle mass. I want to regain it. So I'm on a journey. So I'm on a journey. I go up a little bit to make sure that I put back the muscle mass that I lost. And then, okay, I will trim again, like I am doing right now, where I'm using, the intra fat burn, because it's easier and it's faster. Not because I absolutely need it. And I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to tell anybody that you absolutely need this product. We don't need to sell it to you. But can it facilitate if you're doing other things right? Absolutely. Absolutely. And people won't tell you that. No, you need to take this product. And yet they don't tell you that you have all these sabotaging thoughts in you that prevent you from losing weight. When I use applied kinesiology and do muscle testing, I can tell you that there's people that actually don't believe that they get on diets, but they actually don't believe that they can lose the weight. So they lost before they can get started. And that's, some of the people that we want to help, because they feel vulnerable. They feel helpless. They've been beaten down. They've done these programs. They've done these diets. They've done all of these things. And what they end up at the end of every time, even when they lost weight, they have gained it back. And we're not here. We're here to put an end to that vicious cycle, indefinitely, so that you can live the rest of your life with mobility, with flexibility, with speed, with all the things that you need into your older age. I'm in my 60s. I just turned 64 years old. And when I go to the gym, I train with my daughter. I'm stronger than anybody in this age group by far. And I'm stronger than the next set 10 years younger than me. And I can compete with men in their 20s and 30s. Not at the higher appellage. I'm not going to exaggerate and tell you, no, I'm not in the top 1 or 2% of these men. But no, I can go into the gym and do what I need to do. Now, granted, I go a little slower. I don't go as fast. I start running out of gas. It's like, it's like an old Ferrari. You can't step on the accelerator all the time.
You gotta warm it up first.
You got to warm it up. You don't want to blow out the.
Remember those days? It's cold outside. You got to turn the car on. You have to talk to it nice. Okay, let it warm up. Let it simmer a little while before. You can't just crank it and go. It's gonna stop dead right in the middle of the street.
Exactly.
I was gonna say, so this program is good for people, for everybody really, because we all have something in our subconscious mind that is stuck in there from our childhood. I've heard people say how they grow up with children, with parents, as you say, you can't get off the table unless you eat all your food. And
that was
force them to eat a plate of food. You can't force a child to eat a plate of food, especially if they don't like it. So guess what? So now you've made that child, for example, when I was a child, one of my grandmothers made oatmeal in the morning. I like oatmeal, but she would just make it with like milk and nothing, like no sweetener, no cinnamon, no nothing, right? So it was like, it tasted horrible. It tastes like cardboard. So I would like swallow it. I was like, grandma's like, did you eat my oatmeal? I'm like, trying to swallow it, give some of it to the dog,
No,
so for years I didn't eat oatmeal. I could not eat oatmeal for I don't know how many years. And then finally I said, you know what? I have to get over this. I'm an adult now. Let me make the oatmeal like I like it. Then I said, oh, this is pretty good. It's just grandma didn't know how to make it.
And the truth is, you never know when these programs are going to kick in. Because in my house, you had to eat everything on the plate, no matter what. And even if I stayed, at the dinner table by myself for 2 extra hours, and I was a skinny kid, that's the way it goes. But you know what? Later on, because my mother used to say there's starving kids in Africa. If I said that to my kids, we live in a completely different time. My kids would tell me, well, give me some stamps and I'll send it over to them. It's better.
I know,
So
but I remember we
it's
grew up in the same era, so I understand that. I want to
right. So
say hi to my friend Carmen. Carmen's on. Hey, Carmen, how you doing? So anyway, I'd love to have some friends come on here. I've helped her too. Carmen's been going to my acupuncturist, so she's
nice.
the first time she went, and she's been going and helping her. So I'm happy about that. And
Nice.
so
But
before we go, so
we
like I
go.
said, we're gonna give information. I will have information later, and I will put it out there so everybody knows. And again, my email is right there: info@rebootedthepodcast.com. Please email me there if you want more info about the class, and we'll be of course, promoting it on Facebook and so on, create an event for that as well. But I also, before we go, because we've been cutting time, getting down to that time, I wanted to talk to you also. I have your flyer here. I want to put on here if we can change gears and talk about this retreat that you have coming up in
Oh, very good. Very good.
April. I put this flyer here. It is, let me remove, sorry, I have to remove something because I can't see okay, there you go. So the flyer, it says April 20th, 2nd to the 30th of this year. And it's going to be a wellness retreat for your body, mind, and soul. So Gus, tell us about this.
Right. Well, again, it's always the subconscious mind, but we treat, okay, like what we'll be using 9 steps to a healthy mind to help people get rid of the poisons inside of the subconscious mind. Because we all got dark spots inside. We all have a shadow, and we need to be able to release so we can create more space inside of us and more inner peace, love and inner peace. We need that. So we show and we help release a lot of those issues. We also have heart conscious therapy, which is a technique that we teach you so that you can also use it on a daily basis. We also have the universal breath empowerment, because it's through the breath that spirit runs, and we can release certain things. So we will be doing those things to help you release things that don't serve you, that just doesn't serve you. Then we have also the 5 elements, which is for healing, different aspects, physical and emotional issues. It's always the 5 elements have to be there, and healing takes place. I work with the shamans there. These people do incredible work. And if you have pains and you have things, first we get it out of your emotional state, and then it has the possibilities of getting out of your physical state, because it had to start here. It always starts here. And what this does, it starts to break down the human body. So we do it to ourselves, whether we like it or not. But the idea of this retreat is to get and find that inner peace, the love that we've always had, and get rid of the fear that we have learned. And that's what we help you. And when you leave the retreat, you will have tools that you didn't have before to continue to help you along with your life.
That's awesome. And where is it? It's in Colombia?
It is in Colombia. We're doing it in a castle in Cerrito, Colombia, which is in the area of Cali. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be very powerful. And including those people that need to lose weight, we're going to be able to show you, okay, here's where the sabotage is. Because emotional issues are emotional issues, regardless of how they're dressed up. It doesn't matter whether it's, something that's cost you to gain weight, to keep the weight, or whatever. It's from some traumas, traumas that we have. I mean, at one time, I'm going to go into a short story here, is, all of a sudden I'm getting heavy because I didn't want to have the temptation of going outside of my marriage, because, if I'm not seen, if I'm overweight and I'm seen, nobody's going to bother with me. So who knows how many programs are operating inside of us. Mm-hmm. And this is where we have to release. These are not healthy emotional programs. We got to let them go. I mean, when we look at all the chakras and all the acupuncture meridian points, we see the stuff that's blocked. Now, this stuff that's blocked will make you sick eventually. I mean, this is based on some of the things are based on Ayurvedic and Oriental medicine that say, okay, you got this, your yin and your yang is off, this isn't working here. You're blocked up. Eventually, something's going to come from these blockages, and it's not going to be something that you're going to want. So
Right.
we help to move these energies out.
Now, a lot of people probably don't understand all of it, but it's a learning curve. You have to learn, and you have to be open-minded and embrace. People get worried because we're talking about different terms and chakras and shamans, right? All these different things. But, I believe in God. I believe in the higher power,
Correct.
and without God, we wouldn't be here. So
Correct.
it's embracing all of that and using what God gave us, all the abilities. There's so
Correct.
many. We are like God, and if you
Yeah.
think about it, they even tell you in the churches. I'm not going to go into specifics, right? But they say we are in His likeness, so we
Right.
have abilities. Our brains are control everything, and I learned that especially because of the stroke, because I realized, I was like, wow, I can't believe that I had a moment that my brain got a little damaged, and then all of a sudden now I'm not functioning correctly, because now the signal from my brain to my body, it was disconnected. It couldn't figure out, okay, left leg, okay, you got to move left, like you got to move this way. The brain would say it, but I would look at my leg and it would take time. Like
Right.
it was a whole slowness. But to understand, your brain controls everything. And once you get a hold of that, your subconscious, and learn how to help yourself with breathing. Breathing is, oh my God, breathing is so amazing. You're stressed
And
out, and you're like, if you're driving, I'll give you an example. I'm driving, it doesn't matter. In South Florida, it's a nightmare. So you're driving, somebody cuts you off or whatever it is, you get upset, right? Your first thing is you want to scream at the person. They can't even hear you. You're screaming at them, right? So now a lot of times I get upset and I just stop for a second. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna let it bother me. Not gonna let that energy bother me. And I just, even if I just breathe for a second,
right.
just like release
And
it,
start releasing.
and you keep going and you settle yourself down. It's amazing
Right.
what
Right.
breath work does.
Well, the universal breath work that we do is very powerful. It allows people to get rid of emotions that they've been holding on for decades that are not serving them. And that's important because we're all on a journey, and it has to start with inner peace. It has to start with, our own peace. It has to be love towards ourselves and not let the inner critic beat the living daylights out of us.
Yeah. Oh, that inner
So,
critic is the worst.
yeah.
And you can go through, I remember doing it. Oh, I'm too fat, I'm too this, I'm that. I mean, you can go on and on. Your brain will just, I mean, you go down this rabbit hole. It's horrible.
Yeah, there's no question about
And
it.
and it's true. You have to learn how to love yourself. And a lot of it, it takes a minute, right? It takes a minute to understand that. Once you start working, Gus will help you work through this, through the subconscious, and you start clearing out all the stuff that you don't need anymore. Then you're gonna start realizing, wow, I'm a rose. I'm beautiful. I'm
Right.
like a red rose blossoming, or like the
Yeah.
butterfly, like I put on my intro before. You become the butterfly is in a cocoon, right? And then it comes out with these beautiful wings once it's all ready to go. So you have to remember, you are a butterfly. You're a beautiful
Right.
butterfly. We just gotta get you out of that cocoon, and readjust the subconscious of all the things you've learned
Right.
for how many years of your life, and
Correct.
realize you're worth it. You're a beautiful person, and you deserve to be healthy and happy. So that's what we want to
Exactly.
do. So if you, I will also be giving out the information about the retreat in April. I got to get my passport together because I want to go to Colombia. JC and I want to go down there. I think it would be an awesome thing to do. And I would love to go down there and also do some video, and during my time over there, just little bits and pieces, and maybe even do one episode down in Colombia. That would be awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, because I can use
Absolutely.
anything, I'll take all the blessings from God from every
Yes.
which way I can get them.
Absolutely. This castle has, sacred geometry. It's surrounded by the Andes Mountains with the
Oh,
energy of the Andes Mountain. So it's all set up for healing. It's been structured that way. That's why we worked diligently to get a hold of this castle.
that's great. That's incredible. Well, I want to thank you, Gus. I think we gave a
Thank
lot
you.
of
Thank you.
information to our guests out there. I hope they appreciate this. We're here to, just like again, make you healthier and happier and live a better life. And that's what we want to do in our journey. So I thank you, Gus, and we'll see you
Thank
next
you.
time. And I'll give everybody the information on social media.
Okay.
Thanks, Gus.
Take care.
So everybody, thank you so much for watching this episode of Rebooted Mindset. Gus was amazing. He has so much information. We try to make it as simple as possible for you guys to understand. The brain is a very complex organ in your body, but it controls everything. So we have to release. We have to let go. So that's one thing, one of the mantras that I do sometimes when I'm meditating, I'm praying to God. I just said, let it go, let it go. And a lot of mentors that I have now that have been teaching me on, you have to let things go. There's just, you hold on to so much things, trauma that you've gone through in your life, and they just keep piling up, and you think, oh, they're gone already. That happened 30 years ago. No, it's still there unless you deal with it. So, anyway, so stay tuned. See you next Tuesday at 6 p.m. We'll see what guests I'm going to have next week. I will let you know. So check it out on social media. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and Facebook and Instagram. And I'm on TikTok. I'm all over the place. And subscribe. Click the little bell in YouTube to get notified every time I have a new episode. Okay, so don't forget to do that. And I will see you next Tuesday. Have a great weekend. Bye.